Hello, Steemit. Hello, YouTube. Crypto G here, coming at you with another video tutorial. This time we are kicking things off in a new series I want to start off called the Growth Series, where we will be focusing on skills and developing your skills that perhaps you thought, you're not that sort of person, oh, I'm not the sort of person who can work 3D graphic programs or, whatever it is, then these tutorials are for you. Simply because I used to be like that. And after reading this book here, I just want to show you very briefly. This book here called Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, which you can get on Amazon. It's about £7 or dollars, depending on where you are. And really, it'll change your life. So that's the kind of story behind this. Let me now introduce you to Blender. Blender is completely free. You just go to blender.org, download the version for your machine, whether it's Windows or Mac, Linux, whatever it is, and install it. And voila, you've got an immensely powerful tool that is used in various animations. Animations you've probably seen on the TV and in film. The medical profession use it. It's a very powerful tool. Okay, so let's jump into this. So when you download Blender and you click on it and you open it, you're always faced with this kind of file, which is the default file, the kind of new file that you get. And as you can see, it's just simply a cube is what you're looking at here. You're looking at a camera just over here, and this little black spot is a lamp. And those are the three objects within a new file. Okay, so in order to navigate those, first of all, we can select them. Now, when you select, unlike in other programs where you usually left click to select, I'm actually right clicking. Now, you can change that, and it probably pays to change that because a little bird tells me Blender are going to use that as the default mode, because most users are like, hey, why the heck should you suddenly have right click to select things when in every other program since the beginning of mice and using mouse clicks it seems to be left. Anyway, come up to File, up on the left, top left, come down to User Preferences, go to Input, and then as we can see here on the left of this menu, you've got Select With. It's on right at the moment. I'm going to turn it to left. And then at the bottom left here, you'll see Save User Settings. So we can save them here. When you save the user settings, the window won't disappear, but everything's saved. Okay, next you might want to know how to do what I'm doing here, which is to rotate around the objects, because of course you need to rotate. You might want to look at various things and zoom in and out. Quite simply, that is the mouse wheel. Usually I wouldn't sort of insist on you buying a new bit of kit just for a bit of software, but if you haven't got a mouse with a wheel, I would get one. I mean, you can use Control and plus and minus to zoom in and out, but really a wheel is where it's at, because I'm also clicking the wheel, pressing it down, and that's how I'm rotating 360 degrees around the object. Okay, and yeah, mouse zooms in and out. Now, when I first started using 3D programs, I mean, I've edited professionally and I've used various programs professionally. I've never used this particular program professionally, but I found what used to be a mental block for me was the fact that you could do this. You can rotate right round, and unlike a two-dimensional photograph that you're working with, you can end up in all sorts of positions, and you're like, oh, where the hell am I? And what's going on? You can let me just zoom out. You can very quickly get back to where you want to just simply by using the number pad. And if I click 1 on the number not number pad, I'm now facing the front of the cube. Okay. If I click number 7, I'm now facing the top of the cube. We can see, look, we're looking down on the camera here, and that's the top of the cube. If I click number 3, I'm looking from the side of the cube, and here we can see a side view of the camera. Okay, so that's 1, 7, and 3. Now, another thing that I recommend if you're using Blender with a laptop is to get a separate keyboard. I mean, I think it just makes sense with a laptop, especially if you use a laptop at a desk. Then for your back, your eyesight, for various RSI injuries on your wrists and your elbows, it's much better to just get a laptop, put your laptop up on a stand, and get a spare keyboard. But if you stubbornly don't want to do that, and you don't have a number pad, which is the extra pad of numbers on the right, then you can come again to user preferences under file. We can go to, where are we? We can go to interface. No, sorry, we go to input as well. And I have lost where it is actually. As you can see, I've just started using this program. Oh, there we go, number pad. There we go. So you just simply, as I said, go to inputs, user preferences, and we emulate number pad. And that will allow you, as you can see when I mouse over, that will allow you to use the main 1 to 0 keys on the top of your keyboard as a number pad. But I'm not going to do that because I do have a number pad. Now, as I said, 1, 7, 3 will take you to the cardinal kind of positions, but we don't just have to use those. So if I use 1 here, sorry, 7. No, sorry, I want to go I want to go to 1. So I'm at the front now. So if I go to 1 here, I can now use, say if I use 6, I'm rotating in increments of, I'd say, probably 22.5 degrees to the right. If I use 4, to the left. If I use 8, then we see me doing it upwards, and then that's down. So I can use a combination of the keys to get me to the exact orientation I want. Okay, so that's 2 ways you can manipulate the world view. Yeah, because this is our world view. We're looking at the world. We're looking at the objects, the camera, and the lamp. The camera is obviously the camera view. If you do play it, let's say we turned that cube into a house and there was a man walking into that house, and then he goes up to the roof and he fires some fireworks off the roof of the house. That's the perspective we'd see that from when we actually rendered it out and we made it into a video and we put it on DTube or whatever. We would see that from the perspective of this camera, unless we added more cameras and we told the program to, flick around like a film scene to go to different cameras. But this is where we would see it from. So we have the world view, or the God view, if you like, and that's what we're manipulating. So there's a little, I don't want this to go on too long now. I know it can be a bit boring when we're introducing to new software, but I just wanted to show you those things of using the wheel, the mouse wheel, to zoom in and out, to click and then go around it 360 degrees. Also, one thing I didn't say, if you hold shift on your keyboard, press the mouse wheel and drag, you can move it in increments like this. So I can slide the whole scene along to the right. And that's obviously very handy if say I'm zoomed in and I'm like, oh, where's that camera? I want to kind of go, oh, there it is. I'm just shift along, and now I can maybe rotate along and then use shift again to kind of go higher or to the right or whatever. And then if I get lost, I can use the keypad. So I'll hit 7 so that I can see my top view. All right. Okay. And we've also talked about using the user preferences to emulate the number pad if you don't have a number pad, so that your bog standard numbers function like the number pad. And we have also gone from right click, which is default, to left click in order to select things. So I think that's all we're going to cover now. In the next one, I'll cover the properties panel, I should say. As you can see, we can make it larger and smaller here. And I'll cover what some of these things are doing. And then we'll get on to actually manipulating objects, putting them in, and creating animations and pictures. Okay, so hope you enjoyed that first tutorial. If you haven't got Blender, go off to blender.org and download it. Watch the tutorial again. Play along whilst watching the tutorial. It's always easier to do that. And I'll see you in the next one. Okay, Crypto G out. Thanks and bye bye.